Hi, I'm Rob from HopZine.com. Thanks for joining me for another video beer review. This time looking at a beer from the Marble Brewery in Manchester, and it's a bottle of their Old Manchester. It is a 7.3% ale. This is actually a collaboration between essentially Marble and Fuller's. John Keeling, the head brewer at Fuller's, went up to Marble maybe about 3 months ago now and brewed a beer with him, and this is what they brewed. Anyway, so I've loosened the cage because, to be honest, oh, they're stiff. It's a really stiff kind of bit of wire around that, so I've eased it off. And now I'm going to try and remember what Tim Pratt on the Hoppery said about pushing forward on the those little markings on the cork, and it should just kind of come out really nicely. Sod that. It always works for me. Let's get a gentle twist. There we go. Thankfully, unlike a lot of Belgian beers where you might find with a cork in it, that wasn't erupting all over the place. Nice bit of smoke. I've still not figured out what that means, what that indicates at all. I haven't a bloody clue. Anyway, so yeah, Old Manchester, collaboration between Fuller's and Marble. It is in the glass. It's a really nice kind of slightly. It's red but with an orange kind of hue to it. Super clear, good amount of carbonation, kind of spurting to the top of the glass. Nothing ridiculous, but a good amount to keep it nice and lively. The head, a thin film of white foam, very foamy, very soapy looking. So anyway, let's have a sniff. Oh, that's really interesting. I get a lot of kind of orange rind, and a definite toffee quality, quite a pale kind of. There's a type of toffee, you'll remember what it is. It's like a really hard toffee that you break with a little toffee hammer. It's like quite a sugary toffee. There's a hint. There's a hint of booze in there. That kind of slightly. It's a bit fumey in a way. I'd say quite old peaches and nectarines. It's like soft pale fruits, but a bit old. Like probably if you've got a peach tree in the bottom of your garden, it's that time of year. They've all fallen to the floor. And it's middle of the summer. And they're all getting a bit musty and a bit kind of boozy smelling. There's a hint of kind of like a candy sugar in the background. There's something it says two things to me. It says Belgian yeast, like a triple Belgian yeast, or there's something, I remember because I have had this before, I've had this once before. I shared a bottle the other week with a group of friends in North Bar in Leeds. And there's a very much quality that reminds me of a Fuller's beer, and I think it reminds me in a way of Fuller's Vintage Ale. It's that kind of really alcoholic fruit quality, which is a combination of, I guess, berries and those soft pale stone fruits, which have gone a bit soft and starting to go a bit mouldy, but starting to ferment. But with a definite kind of, that yeast is definitely playing a big part, which I think is a really nice quality. So I'm just keeping an eye on it because with a cork cage bottle, I was scared that it's going to start kind of erupting. Maybe a hint of a quality you'll get in a really nice creek, like a sweet cherry. Anyway, I've been talking too much about the aroma. Let's dig in. That's lovely. One thing that, before I even start thinking about a taste, I got reminded once again as I brought it up to my mouth, which really reminded me of a Belgian beer. and quite a fruity Belgian beer. Maybe like some of the beers that are produced by the Dola. Anyway, let's get on to the flavour. Less mucking around. Oh. There's a really nice kind of soft, maybe apricot jam quality to it, which is really soft and smooth. There is, once again, and as I said, I have had this before. One thing, it does really remind me of strong Fuller's beers, something like Golden Pride or like Vintage Ale. I don't know. I've used in. This is going to be a really interesting situation, I guess, because Fuller's, I'd imagine, majority of the time they will use Kentish hops, definitely British hops. And Marble, renowned for using New World hops, really, kind of renowned for using a lot of New Zealand hops, even before they became as trendy as they are now, and definitely a lot of American hops. Flavours. Yeah, it's that rounded, bittersweet quality you'll get from an English hop, which is quite hedgerow, a bit kind of like an old strawberry. Every time I lift it to my mouth, I'm getting this really kind of big, kind of estery filled kind of Belgian note to it, which is one thing I didn't remember from last time. It's really interesting. Yeah, a bit of grapefruit there. Orange peel, definitely, older orange peel. A little boozy warmth at the back end. And then at the back, then further down, I'm getting like an old lemon. You might have kind of sliced it in half, used half of it or something for cooking, and then you've got the other half, and you might have had to taste that. It's still not got that kind of cutting acidity to it, but it's still got that kind of like potent, kind of aggressive flavour, which is kind of fresh and bitter. So that's definitely in there. Anyway, one thing I'm going to do, and another of my, I guess, lazy and I guess slightly flippant food matching. You might by now have probably put on my review of the Mikkeller beer, which I had with a bacon sandwich. To be honest, I like food matching with beer, but I'm crap at it. But one that really resonates with me takes me back to a time when I visited another renowned beer blogger, no other than Baron Orm. You know, in fact, the Baron's been around for a while. He's a bit of a legend around the beer blogging scene. Does fantastic just audio reviews. Before a lot of people started doing, I think they were like Matt Dredge and Zach Avery doing video, but the Baron started doing audio reviews. Him and Chris are very, very entertaining. But I spent an evening with Chris and the Baron reviewing some stouts, and he educated me on probably one of the best beer snacks I've ever had. And when I had this the other day and I was thinking about reviewing it, I thought, there's a perfect beer snack to go with this beer. And it's Aldi's Frikadellen. And what they say they are, it's a German favourite, these generously juicy, fattened pork meatballs. It's like a flat meatball. Are made with onion, breadcrumbs, herbs and spices. And the Baron served us that night, late on, we're getting into the early hours of the morning, some Frikadellen sliced up with a bit of hot mango chutney. And do you know what? It made such a fantastic beer snack. So I remember I was just remembering back, drinking this bottle of Old Manchester. And then today, when I was thinking about starting to review it, I thought that Frikadellen and mango chutney is going to go really nicely with that. So there you go. There's my slice of kind of German flat meatball sausagey type weirdness and hot Aldi's the best, not only the best for HopZine, Aldi's hot mango chutney. I'm going to be really interested to see how that goes with this beer. Anyway. Got a lot of sweetness to it. Fatty. Just have a bit more. It is. It's a lovely match. Really is. With the food, it's sweet. It's fatty. It's a little bit spicy. Just gonna have a bit more of this Old Manchester. Yeah, it's sweet and fatty from the meat. Bit of spice. But then this beer has got a nice bitterness to it. But it's also got a lovely kind of toasted kind of sweetness, which is kind of like citrusy. So the mango kind of fruity, jammy flavours in the beer are kind of complemented, I'd say, with the qualities in the mango chutney. And the hot bitterness really kind of fights off that spice, kind of complements the spice, makes it nice and floral. As I'm just talking, I'm going to get myself another little bit. It's a lovely match. Yeah, the acidity of the the bitterness of the beer cuts through it. That slight kind of crispness, it's quite a direct beer in many ways. Really cuts through the fattiness of the frikadellen and the mango chutney. And it's not the most sophisticated bit of food matching you're ever going to see, but it just really reminded me of going to Manchester, because I've got to go to Manchester if I'm going to go to Ormskirk, and it just reminded me that these flavours will go really nicely with this Old Manchester. It's a lovely beer. It's definitely got, excuse me, it's got marble stamped all over it, with those well judged bitter hops. It's kind of screaming out qualities that remind me of historical styles that Fuller's are big time into, and it's a really well crafted, nicely rounded, very tasty beer. Anyway, I've been talking far too long, but this is a bottle of Old Manchester Ale from the Marble Brewery, collaboration with John Keeling, head brewer at Fuller's in London. It's a 7.3% ale, and I love it. And if you can find some, or if you can be bothered, get a bottle of this, get some frikadellen, and some mango chutney. And always remember, the Baron made me do it anyway. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this video beer review, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.